So we're going to continue the summer report series today as we take a look at the Dallas Stars. They made it pretty deep in the playoffs last year, further than most expected. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe, and let's take a look at the Dallas Stars. So the Dallas Stars had a pretty good playoffs last year, pretty good season overall last year, some bumps in the way, but they were able to fight through and have a pretty good playoff run. Obviously, season didn't start too well for the Dallas Stars. Didn't look like they were going to be a playoff team. Goaltending was questionable at some points. Ben Bishop was getting injured. But things turned around. Now, it did come at the cost with a shot in the arm from ownership, calling Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn horse manure. So they had to go through a lot last year, and it seems like Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn took that news pretty hard, and they used it as motivation for the team. They were called out, and the team rallied around that. Anton Khudobin and Ben Bishop ended up being one of the best goaltending tandems in the NHL all of last season. Ben Bishop winning the Vezina. Oh, no. Now, who? Oh, Vasilevsky won? Oh, never mind. No, but I think Ben Bishop should have won the Vezina. That was tough in my opinion. I think Bishop and Vazzy were pretty close. I think the reason Leonard and Bishop did not win is because they had help from Khudobin and Greiss. Vasilevsky kind of did it all on his own. He did have help from Louis Domingue, but what does that really mean? Is that just because Tampa's defense is good? Yeah, so it's something that you're going to argue either way. But nonetheless, the Dallas Stars ended the season pretty well. One of the hottest goaltending tandems. Going into the playoffs, they defeat the Nashville Predators, the Central Division champs, and they came oh so close to beating the St. Louis Blues. It just didn't work out, but man, they came really, really close. Taking a look at the salary cap. So they have under $1 million here in Dallas. Not too much room to work with, but there's hope on the horizon for the Dallas Stars. So taking a look, you got Martin Hanzal's almost $5 million contract. That was a brutal contract when it was signed, and it's finally ending this season for the Dallas Stars. So next July 1st, his payment will be paid. He will be done. No more payment for Martin Hanzal. Matthias Janmark will be a free agent as well. Radek Faksa is also up for a contract. Roope Hintz will be up for a contract. And they still have Julius Honka, who is up for a contract, which I do not think the Dallas Stars want anything to do with Julius Honka right now. They'll more than likely clear waivers, in the fall, and will probably get picked up by a team at that point. So that's unfortunately the situation there with Honka. They wanted to trade him to get something for him. Doesn't look like that's going to happen at this point. Martin Hanzal's money comes off the books, but I think that's going to be pretty much pushed right back into the lineup because you got Janmark, Faksa, and Hintz. I could easily argue that Janmark could make around $2-3 million. He's been playing pretty good hockey for the Dallas Stars, and the payroll keeps going up every year. I would expect that to continue. Radek Faksa really hasn't lived up to the potential that they've needed him to, but maybe he has a breakout year this year, knowing he's going to get some money at the end of it. And Roope Hintz had a really great season last season, a great breakout. They're going to be expecting more from Roope Hintz. So taking a look, obviously those are some guys that are going to be free agents. Nothing catastrophic like Tyler Seguin or Jamie Benn, but nonetheless pretty big guys that they have to get re-signed. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Dallas Stars. We have Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Joe Pavelski. And oh my goodness, that's a really good line. I like that for the Dallas Stars. Adding Joe Pavelski definitely helped fill the void that they lost with Matt Zuccarello. And it didn't cost them another draft pick. So pretty good pickup there for the Dallas Stars. Bringing in Joe Pavelski. I think he's a great mentor. And we talk about leadership with the Dallas Stars. And not that Jamie Benn or Tyler Seguin aren't good leaders, but they may just not have the best leadership qualities maybe in the room. I feel like a guy like Joe Pavelski can kind of help settle things down. especially being the captain of the San Jose Sharks for the time that he was. That was a pretty big loss for the San Jose Sharks because Joe Pavelski is a really good player. Taking a look at the second line, we have Denis Gurianov, Rupe Hintz down the middle, and Alexander Radulov. So they're looking at maybe changing things up here. I'm not sure if what the plan is because Pavelski could really play second line center. It's kind of a mess. But we saw the breakout of Rupe Hintz. He belongs in the top 6 here for the Dallas Stars. I would expect another great season from Hintz. Denis Gurianov is getting a shot. We haven't seen too much of Denis Gurianov. This is a great chance for him to get things going with the Dallas Stars and keep that momentum rolling. And Alexander Radulov, he's been playing with that top line with Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn for a couple of years since he came from the Montreal Canadiens. So that could be interesting there for Radulov. Does he end up coming back to that top line, or do we see a little bit of a drop in production for him this year? Maybe getting less time and, more importantly, less playing time with guys like Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. Taking a look at the third line, and this is a wild card third line here because you have Radek Faksa, who I hope has a good season this year. He needs something to prove. This is the year to do it. Jason Dickinson, a younger player. He's getting up there now. He's in his mid-20s. He needs to get going here with the Dallas Stars. They expected him to be a really good, high elite goal scorer when he was drafted. They need him to get somewhat close to that potential. Even if he doesn't get to it fully, get to at least 70 or 80% of that player, and the Dallas Stars could have a really good player on their hands. Especially, they're going to need some scoring depth. That's something they've had issues with last season. They're one of those teams, I think, off the top of my head, the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche. They have some really great guys in the top part of the group. Things kind of drop off from there. But they may have changed that because they also brought in Corey Perry from the Anaheim Ducks, who bought him out. Ooh, it's going to be hard not to be a Dallas Stars fan because this season I'm going to be cheering for them. I like Corey Perry. Not one of my favorite players. He is a little bit of a grinder. So you do like him more when he's on your team. I'm going to be rooting on Corey Perry because he's going to have a prove-it year with the Dallas Stars. Can he have a resurgence in the NHL once again with the Stars? He needs to stay healthy as well. That's huge for Corey Perry. And take a look at the fourth line, and this is where things get a little bit iffy. So, if you didn't like the third line, fourth line's even worse. You got Andrew Cogliano, who I wholeheartedly loved with the Anaheim Ducks, but he's definitely dropped off, and he has one of those Iron Man streaks. He had that kind of broken from not being in the lineup. That was kind of, not the best thing. Cogliano's definitely on the decline. He's a really good player still, but I don't know. I don't see how much more left he has in the tank. You have Matthias Janmark down the middle there for the fourth line. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being in the top 6 at some point this season, whether injuries or just to change things up. So this bottom, from the second to the fourth line, there's a lot of room to move up, and there's a lot of room to move down as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that heading into the regular season. And then you have a former New York Islander that I remember, Blake Comeau, who's still with the Dallas Stars. He's there. He's a good leader, a good mentor, but you can't really expect too much from Blake Comeau at this point in his career. He's a good mentor, good guy in the room, but he's not going to give you the offensive flair that he used to. And taking a look at the defense. Now, this is pretty interesting. I don't know how much I like the defense here for the Dallas Stars, but let's take a look. So you got Esa Lindell on the left side, and you got John Klingberg on the right side. No surprises here. They're the 2 best defensemen on the Dallas Stars right now. But speaking of that, you do have a little competition for you. Esa Lindell. You have Miro Heiskanen on the left side on the second pair, and Roman Polak on the right side. Please tell me why the Dallas Stars have Roman Polak in the top 4 for their defense. Just think about that for a minute, please. They got to do something. I'm sorry. Roman Polak is not a top 4 defenseman. Nonetheless, I wouldn't even consider him a top 6 defenseman at this point. Please, if Dallas, you've got to fix that. You you absolutely have to fix that. You may have to trade for Torrey Krug. I don't know what you have to do, but you cannot have Miro Heiskanen playing with Roman Polak. I'm sorry. Anyway, the 5 and 6 guys for the Dallas Stars. You got Jamie Alexiak and Andrej Sekera. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Again, these are two guys. They're getting older. I really don't know how much more is left in the tank for these guys. Jamie Alexiak, he's a big player, one of the bigger players in the NHL. And Andrej Sekera is kind of here on a mentor role. He's bought out by the Edmonton Oilers. It's more of a, let's see what he has kind of deal. But the Dallas Stars definitely have a weakness on the back end. And you have Lundell, Klingberg, and Heiskanen, who I like. And you could argue Jamie Alexiak for the position that he's playing, but I really don't like Polak. And Andrej Sekera, I'm not really sure how much is really left. How much is left out of a guy like Andrej Sekera at this point. So that's just my opinion. But Roman Polak on the right side, that's awful. That's awful. And then you have your goaltending tandem, going to be the same as last season. So this is some good news for the Dallas Stars. You do have Ben Bishop and Anton Khudobin. So good news there for the Dallas Stars. And, looking at the lineup, Martin Hanzal isn't even on the starting roster. I wonder if they put him on LTIR and just leave him there for this season. They have less than $1 million in cap space. They could clear up a little bit with putting Martin Hanzal on the LTIR. So let me know what you guys think of the Dallas Stars. Oh, I forgot to say my playoff predictions. So the Dallas Stars, I do have them making the playoffs. I think the parity of this league, it's going to be difficult for the Dallas Stars, but I believe the real competition that they have is the Chicago Blackhawks. If the Blackhawks come back on this year and are able to turn it on, the Dallas Stars may have problems making the playoffs, but if they're able to fight off a team like the Blackhawks and you maybe see a dip from a team like the Nashville Predators, even with Matt Duchene, there is still that possibility. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's way too hard to predict, but I have the Dallas Stars making the playoffs some way or another. Maybe they steal a wild card from a team like, one of the Pacific teams. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.